What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman. Last week we reported that Jon Bernthal may reprise his role as the Punisher in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, that Kevin Feige and co over at Disney's Marvel Studios wanted the actor back. Now what's more, a more recent report that he may reprise the role, they'll do a full-length film and want to keep this property rated R. Now while that's a report in and of itself, you have to take the bigger picture here with a couple of headlines we've gotten more recently. You can't help but take a step back and realize that Marvel Studios may be keying up a rated R side for their franchises, where those specific franchises will lead up to a crossover of their own. With the 4 properties already announced that fit the bill for this, it gets super exciting. We're going to break down the most recent report, where all of this is coming from, and what it means for Marvel Studios going forward. But first, if you could grab the subscribe button, we're giving away 2 PlayStation 4 Pros, as well as a whole slew of other Marvel related stuff throughout the holiday season. All you have to do, hit the subscribe button, then hit the notification bell, leave a like and a comment on this video, and if you want, stick around to the end of the video. I'll get into all the giveaway stuff again there. Now, to be fair, Marvel Studios before the Disney acquisition were a lot more gritty than they were afterwards, and that's for obvious reasons. You can only do so much in the confines of PG-13. That being said, there's a lot of difference between the kind of violence that we get in typical Marvel movies, seen here between Hulk and the Hulkbuster in a city throwing around cars, breaking through skyscrapers, but no accidental deaths, definitely nothing gruesome, and no blood, and the kind of violence that you need to pull off a franchise like the Punisher. Look, we've grown accustomed to this sort of violence in Marvel movies, and there's a really excellent video done by a group called the Corridor Crew. I'll make sure to link this video down below in the description, where they go back in and edit key moments of Marvel movies to make them more realistic, to show the blood and the violence and the gore that would happen, you know, when a superhuman like Captain America hits a regular human with a vibranium shield and then kicks him. His head would come flying off, and it's easy to see why violence like this really wouldn't fit the genre for Marvel. There's a reason they'd have to tone it down, and that works perfectly for Disney's PG-13 rating. But now these properties coming up that Marvel Studios got in Phase 5 and Phase 6, some of these reacquisitions from Netflix specifically, make it sort of seem like there's no other place to go, and so they've decided to embrace that and letting Deadpool set the tone. Now the 4 properties I mentioned in the prologue are such: Moon Knight, Blade, Deadpool, and the Punisher, and we know a little bit about each of these and where Marvel may plan to go with it, starting with Deadpool, that's rumored to have been sent to production already. More recently, a headline we hadn't reported on the channel, but it makes sense to say now, within the last 48 hours, Finger Guns production, usually the beginnings of a movie's production means there's a start of a shell LLC. That LLC seems to have already been formed, implying that that more recent meeting between Ryan Reynolds and Marvel Studios gave them the green light to start production on this third movie. It'll be early in pre-pro though, so a Phase 5 slate announcement makes sense, where we'll also see Blade. Now they've already embraced the fact that Deadpool will be rated R, and we had recent reports before this whole Punisher thing that Blade would in fact be rated R2, and admittedly, while I hadn't stopped to think about it, trying to do a vampire hunter movie without any blood would be pretty impossible, as impossible as doing gratuitous gun violence like the Punisher and Deadpool demand without the same rated R rating. This couldn't help but make me wonder if they're not going to cross these properties over, given how well 3 out of the 4 of these properties fit. Moon Knight, Blade, and Punisher, all as ruthless as one another, all set to be extremely violent series, would actually work very well in a crossover. And of course, you could throw Deadpool in there, but the problem being his comic relief doesn't really fit the tone, the heaviness of a normal Frank Castle or Moon Knight novel or comic. It's just not the same sort of thing. His comedy will actually work way better when crossed back over with the Avengers, which leads me to my last point. What does that mean for these characters and their PG crossovers? And this was something I had actually put forth when we originally found out that Deadpool would be headed back to Disney. The easiest way for him to operate in and out of a rated R rating is write him rated R when he's in his own franchise in movies. The characters that show up in those movies can be written rated R as well, and when he crosses back over with the Avengers, or as rumored for Doctor Strange here in the later part of Phase 4, you just write him PG-13. Maybe you give him the one F-bomb that's allowed by PG-13 rating. Now that Marvel Studios has confirmed more than once and recently again that they are going to in fact keep him rated R, that puts everything else back on the table as far as making other properties rated R, for the very specific reason of having a crossover space they can all easily operate in without having to change how they're fundamentally written. And I don't think that this precludes them from showing up in any future Avengers films, or if there truly is a Secret Wars film down the road, you can definitely definitely have Blade show up in the Avengers. You can have him be a member of the Avengers, but they just tone down the violence the way that it's done for those movies specifically. And like I said, you can still give Deadpool one F-bomb. There can still be gun violence, as has been in many Marvel films. You just won't see the blood. I mean, shoot, pun intended. Think about it. How many characters in the Avengers only have a gun as their weapon? Winter Soldier, Rocket, Rhodey. There's plenty that just use guns. You just don't have to see people getting ripped apart, blood and bullets going everywhere, the way it's going to be if they ever do cross over Blade and Punisher. Guys, how excited does that get you? Let me know in the comments. Does it make sense for them to go ahead and take these properties that are better served by a rated R rating, embrace that, and make a rated R section for Marvel Studios? It makes a lot of sense to me, especially considering the demographic of most of the people who key into these movies. You got to remember, this started in 2008, making some of the younger kids being born after the first Avengers movie. It just makes sense that they have an older fan base now. You definitely go ahead and do them rated R. Let me know what you think in the comments, and quickly, let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. We're still giving away 2 PlayStation 4 Pros, the next of which is at the 500,000 subscriber mark. We are headlong into that, should easily hit that by month's end. All you have to do, hit the subscribe button, then hit the notification bell, leave a like and a comment on this video. That'll automatically enter you to win the rest of the prizes we give away here at the channel. We'll be announcing here soon 2 Infinity Saga limited edition box sets. All the same rules will apply though. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, leave a like and a comment on this video, and because it's random, the more videos you like and comment on, the better chance you have of winning. My name's Michael Roman. This is Everything Always, guys. Thanks for checking out the channel, and stick around. We'll be posting again real soon.